From the Denver Broncos Media Center, welcome to Broncos Country Tonight.
Welcome to Broncos Country Tonight. The Broncos have finally snapped their losing streak. Devils break it all down. The one and only Steve Atwater in studio. What up, At?
What up, R. Edwards, Benjamin Allbright? What's the word?
It's good to have you here, man. We appreciate it. The Broncos snapped their 5-game losing streak with a win over the Arizona Cardinals. Back-to-back games now, 28 points against the Chiefs, 24 points against the Cardinals. Is this a trend you see continuing?
I sure hope so. I think everybody in Broncos country hopes that this is a trend that's changing where the offense is able to put points on the board. Now, each game they've been late, kind of late getting it going, but eventually they got it going, made some great adjustments at halftime, and able to put points on the board. So, like I said, I'm hoping it continues. Don't you?
I mean, I certainly hope so. I like the halftime adjustments for sure.
Well, I'm here for it, though. I'm here for them finishing strong because what happens is they shot their, early, and then they turn around and they've not been able to finish strong. I mean, you're talking about a team that scored in the first quarter, and then they haven't been able to score after that. And so I'm happy about the fact that we were able to, go a long way and finish strong.
You're embarrassing. It's just that's all I could say at this point. Okay, one of the things that I found kind of interesting, though, is you mentioning the halftime adjustments, or at least the halftime scoring. Do you realize how many touchdowns the Broncos had scored in the second half of games to the first 12 versus the last two?
What, one or two?
Well, the last two is 5 touchdowns in the second half, right? They scored 3 against the Arizona Cardinals, scored 2 against the Chiefs, right? Mm-hmm. So it's 5 touchdowns. They had 6 for the entirety of the first 12 games in the second half. It's been that kind of season.
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough. It's been tough for Broncos country to watch. It's been tough for us in the press box to see, man, because the guys put in so much hard work and, the coaches grinding away. And then, come game time, the productivity just isn't there, man. So, I mean, it's been a frustrating season for everyone.
Shout out to Nick Kosmider, by the way, with The Athletic for that stat. But I thought that was a really tremendous. And again, we're talking about, I guess, signs of positivity, signs of growth. And another sign of growth for me was the fact that they were able to run the ball as effectively as they were.
Oh, 100%. Latavius Murray, man, he was putting it down, getting north and south. That's one of the things I loved about him as a running back, even before he came here. He's a guy who gets north and south quickly. He runs
Falls
hard.
Forward.
And he's a big guy. He's a big dude, too.
Ryan vetoed me on the L Train nickname because he runs right through the heart of you, just like the L Trains in Chicago. But Ryan vetoed me on that, so No Fun Edwards over here has decided we can't call Latavius Murray the L Train.
It's a no-fun league, NFL, so, yeah, I got to be No Fun Edwards.
So how does Ryan get to decide what you say?
He threw a penalty flag on the play.
Ooh, he threw the flag.
Yeah. But anyways, the point being here, I do like the momentum that we're seeing so far from this team. And you're right, we don't really know what they're going to do. But the thing about it, it's with the LA Rams, another team coming up here that has their own struggles. They still have some talented defensive players, but they don't even have Aaron Donald playing right now. So what I'd like to see, if we can, I'd like to see the Broncos continue this trend. If they can score over 20 points per game for the remainder of the season, what do you think that means for, I guess, the confidence of the offense, the core guys that are going to be here going forward?
Well, I definitely think that it boosts their confidence going into the offseason that – we have something that we're ending the season on that we can build on for next season. But, I mean, we don't want to put the cart before the horse. We got to go out there and do it.
Did you say horse?
You said horse?
Horse.
For the horse.
I think you said horse.
No, man.
Listen, little Wayans.
But we can't do that. We actually have to go out and produce. We've been here before where we've had, moments that gave us reason to believe that it was going to happen, but then it didn't happen. So, right now I'm kind of gun shy to call anything, but I'm certainly hoping that it happens. But if we can put another good game together, and I'm hoping that Aaron Donald plays, so we'll get a better idea of if it's real or not, and we're able to get 100, 140, 150 yards rushing again. That'd be amazing.
You're gun shy, huh? Who hurt you this season?
Yeah, I mean, the whole season, man.
And the under.
Yeah. And I think it's just been a little bit of everything, just, offense and, even sometimes defense not holding up and, as well as they've played, just some of the key games when you really needed them to come through, they didn't do that. So, but, hey, guess what? That's the thing about the NFL, man. I always got another game. And I'm hoping that they can come out and play strong on offense and be dominant on defense the way they were this last game.
I think they need to put together some wins here. I think they need to put together some wins at the end to save the coach. I think they need to put if that's
so. It's not just
feasible.
about scoring offense.
Not just about scoring. It's scoring. It's wins. It's core competency. It's showing that this is something that ownership and general managership should invest in. Because you look at a football team and you're like, we have something here. We need to invest in the pieces around it to put it over the championship window, or we need to blow it up and start over.
So how many times are we going to do that?
But that's the question, right? So which one are we?
How many times are we going to blow it up?
But we haven't really blown it up. That's the thing. They've been trying to reload instead of reset. That's the thing. They've been doing that ever since the Super Bowl.
What does reset look like?
Stripping it, rip and strip, trade it all for picks, sand it all the way down. I don't want to do that.
Broncos Country don't want to do that either.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that with Russell Wilson here.
They haven't done a full rebuild. It's been an in-place rebuild where they tried to plug and play stuff all the way and then settle on a veteran quarterback, the veteran quarterback of the year, whatever one that was going to be, whether it was, Mark Sanchez or Case Keenum or Joe Flacco or Teddy Bridgewater. We go on and on and on. And they kept trying to cap that with something, and it hasn't worked. So you have to ask yourself do we have the right personnel to be able to win a Super Bowl right now? Do we have it? And if we do, the answer to that is okay, then do we have the right coach to maximize those personnel? And if you say yes to both those things, then we need to full commit this offseason to fixing what problems that you believe that there are that are holding us back, whether it's the line, whether it's not having speed at receiver, whatever. If you don't believe that, if you don't 100% believe in these players and this coach, then you need to eliminate the thing you don't believe in and build it around something you do.
Who is that on, though?
That's on the general manager.
That's 100% on George?
Well, I mean, it's on ownership too, but it's on the general manager. It's the owner. The owner can stay as invested or not in his product as he wants. If he gives the tools to the general manager to be able to do what he needs to do, then it's on the general manager.
Hey, do you think how big of an impact did injuries have on it?
A lot. I think that I really do. I do think that injuries had a big factor on this. In fact, I'll go further. I think injuries to Russell Wilson had a big impact on it. Russell Wilson and that partially torn lat, look at his stats. So they drop off after the injury and then they've come back. It's not like Russell Wilson is dramatically doing anything different right now. He's throwing the ball better right now because he's not as hurt as he was.
So if you had one area where you say is the biggest weakness, where would you say it is?
I think there are two areas that are the biggest weakness for this football team right now, and it is the offensive line and receivers' ability to separate. We got a few of those guys who can and a bunch of them who can't.
Who can?
Jerry Jeudy.
He's the only one.
He's the only one so far that does it consistently. Greg Dulcich, if you want to count him as a receiver.
Okay.
I mean, it's significant, right? But I also say that if you had, again, this is no offense to Latavius Murray, who, again, had one of the best days of his career. I think if you had some difference makers that are running back coming out of the backfield, Javonte Williams, he obviously can get open. I think you can see more out of Marlon Mack. I'd like to see Marlon Mack in a little bit more of a role there, especially as a pass catcher.
For the rest of this season, or are you talking about going into the future?
I'm talking about this season. I'm talking about even the next year. Yeah.
Is he going to be the third back on this roster next year? Because Mike Boone's not going to be back.
Yeah.
The price tag's too high for a guy that got hurt too much.
But the point is you're absolutely right, Ben. I mean, you want to find guys that are difference makers, guys that can find separation, guys that can basically threaten defenses, right? I mean, and so it's not much of a threat to a defense if they know exactly what you're going to do every single time you line up and do it, right? So what Jerry Jeudy offers is a little bit of that wiggle and waggle that you really can't plan for. And I think lining him up at the X, lining him up the outside has sort of unlocked a lot of his potential for this offense and for himself.
Yeah, but I also think, do you think Cortland Sutton?
I think Cortland Sutton, and
when he's healthy, like when he's healthy.
Yeah, see, that's a tough thing, right? I mean, because what does that really look like? I thought he was healthy coming into this year, started out relatively strong, and it's sort of faded since then, and now, of course, he's hurt. Hopefully we get a chance to see him before the end of the season, but he might also be a little miscast. And we might need to see him in a little more of a slot role. See him as a big body.
Come on, man.
Steve hates me for that, but I'm all about it, man.
Man.
As a big slot, as a guy that can box out. What are you talking about?
No, man. It just doesn't work like that.
It absolutely works like that. You ever see Larry Fitzgerald play?
He switched to the slot when he got too slow. When Bruce Arians got there, he switched into the slot. He still made him a productive receiver.
All right, we'll see.
Mike Evans, Dontrell Inman. You can find guys like that.
Yeah, Devontae Adams gets moved around all the time. I mean, this
nobody's
has become
static. You're not putting everybody in one spot all game.
No. I'm just saying, but this has become the vogue thing to do. The in vogue thing to do with the bigger receivers is to move them around and not just put them as, hey, you're the X, you're the jump ball guy. It doesn't exist anymore, especially if you want to be a dynamic offense. Get with the times, Steve.
No. The characteristics of cornerbacks in the slot is normally they're a little undersized, but They have the quickness. They got the speed. They can jump with the big guys. You saw what Bryce Callahan did to Mike Williams a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, they can do that. It doesn't matter how tall you are sometimes. That's not the issue. It's that the smaller guys have that quickness. They can jump. They got pretty good hands most of the time. I'm still a Cortland Sutton at X, Jerry Jeudy at Z kind of guy.
I've seen the light. I'm like Paul on the road to Saul on the road to Tarsus. All right, where I'm changing my name to Paul because I've seen the light. Right, there's a biblical reference for you. I am to 180 on this. I used to.
So let me ask a question. So you guys are saying that when Jerry Jeudy was at the Z, he wasn't open?
I'm saying that Jerry Jeudy is tougher to see than Cortland Sutton. And when you got a short quarterback like that, maybe a taller guy with the bigger body flashing the numbers back might be the answer out of the slot.
How can he see him on the outside? He can see him better. Well, I mean,
because they boot to the edge.
Especially if he's got man coverage. I mean, it's one of those, like, if you got man-to-man coverage with Jerry Jeudy, I like Jerry Judy's chances of getting a win off the line.
Wow. Okay.
You're booting the quarterback back toward the X. Like, that's what you know the Kubiak offense, man.
Okay, all right.
You run it off left tackle and you boot him back to the right.
At some point, we'll get you to subscribe.
My classic saying there. We'll see.
At some point, we'll get you to subscribe to our newsletter. It's coming. I know it.
We'll see. We'll see if Jerry Jeudy ends up playing X for a majority of his career going forward.
I'm just going to call him X because he's going to give it to you.
I mean,
little DMX, right? Yeah, come on, see, come on, man. There you go.
That was the whitest thing that ever happened on this.
Back at Z.
That's right.
Nobody covered when he was at Z.
Well, when he's at, that's the problem though. When he was at Z, all he was doing was getting Z's because nobody was throwing him the football.
That's the truth.
Whose fault is that?
We'll see. that doesn't work here.
That doesn't quite line up. All right, Steve, thanks for coming to the studio, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it. For Benjamin Allbright, Steve Atwater, I'm Ryan Edwards. Thanks for watching Broncos Country Tonight.
Denver's going to win! You can stand up and salute in Denver, and you got the world champions that live in your town.